Hey guys, welcome back. Was kind of in the mood to make a video on this nice stormy, rainy afternoon. So yeah, let's go ahead and get some more fragments done. Looks like right off the bat we got one right here we can do. Satoko-chan's dissection plan has been scrubbed and we're getting ready to administer an almost totally untested medicine C-103. This experimental medicine suppresses the production of a certain type of hormone aid. In doing so, it will stop the transition of the syndrome triggering Satoko-chan's condition. The mechanism of Higurashi syndrome is as follows. The pathogen takes over the frontal lobe of the patient's brain, so then induces increased responsiveness, paranoia. As a result, a patient involuntarily carries out excessively defensive behaviors to a problematic extent. If this induction can be cut off, then it will be possible to save terminal patients from becoming deranged, but it only cuts off an induction, so it's not really a cure. Ironically, the brain is an organ that learns. Once the brain has been learned to be excessively paranoid due to the Higurashi syndrome, even after the pathogen is eliminated, the brain doesn't simply unlearn that paranoia. In short, even if the pathogen doesn't include derangement, the patient will be directed to such emotions of their own volition. Thus, it is impossible to completely escape the nearly deranged O5 state. The proverb, "a burnt child dressed fire," is a good example of this. Even after the burn on your tongue heals, the fear of being burned by food again remains. When it ends up being a good thing, we call it learning a lesson, and we call it trauma when it doesn't. We predict Satoko-chan's treatment will take a significantly long time, requiring both medication, such as administering psychotropics and mental care counseling. We have to slowly unravel her mind's solidified paranoia while also suppressing the syndrome's induction and derangement. This is the treatment plan for terminal patients like Satoko-chan. However, as we are going to stimulate the parts of their brain that affects their emotions while they are being stimulated by the pathogen at the same time, it's possible there could be unexplained side effects. Both her mental and physical strength hold the key to our success. We're going to begin the experiment once she regains her emotional stability and physical strength, but someone who threatens to disturb her emotional stability is coming here every day. Oishi, the sly old detective from the Okonomiya Police Department. He thinks everything from the dam protests to the dismemberment and murder of the construction manager is an organized effort secretly conducted by the three families of the village. He even thinks the accident involving the Satoko-chan's parents wasn't an accident. That's why he keeps coming back so he can talk to Satoko-chan. No matter how many times you come, I won't let you see her. He's still crippled by the shock of her parents' deaths. Can't you understand what she's been going through? I understand I only need a few minutes with her. It really won't take long at all. If you want me to get a warrant, I will, but that's pretty serious here now. I'm being considerate of Ojo-san. That's why I still haven't gotten a warrant. What are you trying to ask her anyway? I don't really understand. Well, actually, it's possible that the fall was not an accident. Another Hojo couple were hated by the whole village into the business with the dam, but who would actually follow them on their trip and push them off? Don't you think that's absurd? Well, we could still call it an accident, but if that was the case, there are some things which don't make sense. Why lie? With those lies, I don't think this was an accident. What lies? Well, Satoko Hojo-san says she was asleep in the car at the time of the accident. I think that story sounds a little off, doesn't it? Satoko-chan claims she was asleep in the back seat when the accident took place, so she didn't get out the car at the viewing platform. When she woke up, she didn't see her parents. Then she found out they had fallen off the cliff. Where's the lie exactly? You aren't saying Satoko-chan's really asleep when she went over to the viewing platform with her parents, are you? That's right. Satoko Hojo-san was never asleep. She got out of the car with her parents and went to the viewing platform. I'm suddenly hit by a terrible possibility. What if Oishi is saying it's true and Satoko-chan is saying she didn't go to the viewing platform even though she actually did? It's terrible to even imagine. Why are you saying such a thing? Besides, why would Satoko-chan lie? That's just it. Why was Satoko-chan lie? Well, that's why I need to talk to her. Otherwise, this won't end as a simple accident. Why are you convinced that Satoko-chan is lying? This accident took place in a different jurisdiction. The guys from the Shirakawa station conducted interviews with the parties involved. There are things that bother me in their report. Bother you like what? According to Satoko Hojo-san's statement, her parents asked her to come with them to the viewing platform, but she was sleeping, so she didn't get out of the car. Then she fell asleep and woke up after a while. She became concerned because her parents hadn't come back and started to cry. One of the park workers on patrol noticed her crying and talked to her, and that's how the accident was discovered. And at that time, guess what? According to the park worker's testimony, she was the one who first said her parents had fallen off the cliff. But you see, it's hard to see the accident site in question where the car is parked. If you look very carefully, you might be able to notice a broken fence, but you still, I think it's odd to see your parents have fallen off a cliff just because you didn't see them when you woke up. Normally, most people would say something like their parents went for a walk and didn't come back. It just doesn't make sense to me that she told a stranger that her parents had fallen off a cliff without being at the site of the accident. I want to ask her why she was so certain that her parents had fallen off a cliff. That's why I'm coming back here. I asked her many times before she was admitted here, but all she said was that she doesn't remember or that she was confused at the time. Sounds like a politician, huh? That's why I think it's worth taking the time to talk to her. That terrifying possibility has turned into a certainty in my head. I assume her parents' accident triggered her terminal symptoms. But no, Satoko-chan had already gone terminal, and just before the accident, her heart was filled with paranoia that drove her mad. She was under a lot of stress because of her bad relationship with her stepfather. She was also being scolded by their mother for not being able to get along with them. If that made her paranoid, made her think her parents considered her to be a bother and were going to kill her. When they went to the viewing platform, she must have thought they were going to push her off the cliff. Then a tragedy took place. She pushed her parents off instead, although she considered it to have been self-defense. I'm certain of that, because I know Hinamisawa Sencho better than anybody. This accident is an accident. This isn't a crime either, like Uichi is thinking. It's simply a tragedy. When I talked to Satoshi Kon about the family, I was even more convinced. He told me even though Satoko-chan refused to open up to her stepfather, he had tried to communicate with her. It's true their relationship didn't go well in the beginning, and Satoko-chan caused trouble repeatedly, even called the city's child abuse hotline. At that point, they received guidance from the Child Consultation Center, and they pointed out the problem lay in the lack of communication between a daughter and stepfather. So the stepfather took a parenting course under the social worker's guidance, and awkward though it was, he made efforts to communicate with her. Satoshi Kon noticed his efforts, so he tried to talk to Satoko-chan about it. But Satoko-chan didn't notice them at all. The excessive stress she was under triggered terminal symptoms, and she couldn't understand her stepfather's remorse. On the contrary, her stepfather's change created even more mistrust within her. As a result, they went to enjoy the beautiful view of the Shirakawa Nature Park as a family, and just sharing that joy, yet that humble, ordinary family's wish couldn't even get through to Satoko-chan. What a terrible misunderstanding. Satoko-chan stayed in her car telling her parents that she went to sleep, but then she got out and snuck up behind them. I bet he heard her footsteps. He pretended to not notice her, thinking that she was just doing that to surprise him, instead of thinking that what must have been running through his mind. While he thought he had finally gotten through to her, she was actually approaching him with intent to kill. But that's not Satoko-chan's true nature. It's the disease. Satoko-chan is the only one who's been pitied. Well, who is to be pitied? Her parents are victims too. And now Uichi thinks she's a criminal. Judgment and punishment are required for crimes with malicious intent, but what she really needs is understanding and sympathy. And no one has that understanding except for me, because I know about Hinamisawa syndrome. I am the director of the Area Institute, but I never behaved as such or exercised that authority, but I'm going to do so for the first time since taking this position. I'm not going to do it as the head of the Area Institute, the secret research organization. I'm doing it as a doctor so I can protect Satoko-chan. It's about the Hojo family's accident at Shirakawa Nature Park. Do you think you can ask Kokonoki-san from the Mountain Dogs and make it out to be an accident? Sure, of course, that's no problem. The Mountain Dogs are a unit specialized in concealment and manipulation. After all, we have to put an end to it quickly. Otherwise, the police will end up getting closer to finding out about our research. That's right, please make especially sure Uichi-san is drawn away from this case. We're at a delicate stage of the drug administration test. She doesn't need any more unnecessary stress. You're absolutely right. I'll let the Mountain Dogs know. I've heard that they even have connections within the police, so I'll give the order to put pressure on them too. I'm sure the accident in Shirakawa will be concluded as exactly that within a few days. Within that, it was declared an accident, only if it was really one, it would have been Satoko's soul. Getting rid of the pathogen can't heal that wounded soul, nor can erase the tragedy that had already taken place. All I can do is my best, so the day she regains her smile comes sooner. Woo! Okay, that's that fragment. Now, it took 9 minutes or so. I will go ahead and take me a few minute break here to catch my breath and, get a nice drink. Okay, I am back because there's only like a minute or two. Hey, my headphones. There we go. Okay, next one's right here. Distress Mother Queen, I guess. You guys developed a high fever, very high fever. It's not flu season nor a season for any type of contagious disease. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to other children her age, receiving mysterious shocks and going through experiments every week. I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and is willing to go through anything. My husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes that their story is crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers and takes her own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Ari to be a little bit more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to talk to them about taking responsibility for this. Right after I called, they stopped me marking to pick up Rika to admit her to the clinic. As their guardian, I came with them. Please calm down. We'll make sure she'll be okay, so please wait for a while. How can I calm down? Why does she come down with such a high fever? Is this caused by the experiment you performed last week? Rika is just a little girl, you know. She cares about her friends. She's doing what she can for the sick girl. I understand there's no way our research would affect Rika negatively. Besides, we're being extremely careful so that something like this won't happen. Explain the fever. This is probably due to the change in seasons, and how could this be a simple cold? This is because of the weird shot you gave her. Dr. Arion told me to calm down and refuse to accept responsibility. My husband told me this was all for the sick of the village, and that's why I had to held back my doubts until now, but I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the beginning. They're conducting their research in a secret using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shitty enough on its own. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all. Even after I told them I'm Rika Fride's mother, the clinic even came up with a stupid excuse saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much, much too suspicious. Also, there are people who appear to be researchers working at the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at a normal hospital. In fact, one of them, I accidentally saw that they were armed with guns. Well, as well, the policemen? I don't think so. Who are you all anyway? I refuse to believe you're from the Ministry of Health. Dr. Ari seems taken aback by my intensity and can't answer properly. They're still hiding a lot more from us. That tells me the research they're working on with Rika is anything proper. Anyways, I'm Rika's guardian. Rika's still a child. It doesn't matter what she says. I won't let her participate in this research anymore. My, it's Rika Chen's mother. Hello. What's the matter? Is everything okay? Well, Rika Chen's mother says she won't let Rika Chen participate in research any longer. Why is that? Because she's not your guinea pig. We never treated her that way. You're misunderstanding us. I'm a little startled. Dr. Ari is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Takano says it's different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers and looks as if she's about to jump at me. Rika Chen's fever is caused by a cold. We didn't cause it. When it comes to safety and sanitation, we pay the same level of attention as a national research center. I don't mean to be rude, but considering you walk around while holding Rika Chen's hands without disinfecting yours with alcohol first, we are far more sanitary. We're not talking about that. Anyhow, Rika isn't your toy. She'll never come back here again. You can't decide that by yourself. You and your husband both signed the statement of consent, didn't you? We have been depositing money that's by no means a small amount to your account every single month for her cooperation and research. Well, I know nothing about any money. I never heard of that before. Rika receiving money for participating in the research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used to spending money behind my back. I bet he thought of it as a free service for villagers and completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There haven't been any straight deposits in the regular account, so maybe it's in our savings. Anyways, I don't care about that. If you want to breach our contract, we'll have to ask you to return the full amount of deposits we have made up until this point. Also, if one party is at fault for the breach of contract, Takano said, please calm down. This is for you too. Just as I explained to you before, we must find a cure for Hinamisawa symptoms so the villagers can continue their lives without worries. For that reason, we need to have Rika-san continue to participate. Now tell me, when are you going to find a cure? It doesn't make sense. At first you said this was for Rika's friend, Satoko-chan, but Satoko-chan has been released from the clinic and is now carrying on happily. You even told my husband 2 weeks ago that you found a cure already, didn't you? Yes, I think I told him something like that, but you see the solved mysteries of the syndrome. You didn't mention anything about solving mysteries at the beginning. Rika was to participate to find a cure for the villagers, so now her job is done. All the research and experiments you're performing on Rika have nothing to do with the cure. You're doing them out of your own self-interest, aren't I right? That's not true. It really isn't. Anyway, this matter of Rika-san's cold is just a misunderstanding. If you still don't trust us, then that's enough. Since money is involved here, I'll discuss it with my husband. Excuse me. They were just too shitty from the very start. Because of their exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but they won't work on me. Anyhow, I must settle things with them right away because Rika isn't their toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano. Dr. Ari seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I could see the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I guess feel cruelty emitting from her. Neither my husband nor Rika noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika. That's not like you, Takano-san. Getting into an argument with her will only make things more complicated, so it's unlike you. I know. Sorry for losing my cool. This didn't happen to put her in a bad mood. I already wondered if the heated conversation she just had didn't involve the Takano he knew. Alright, looks like that fragment is over. That fragment was a little bit shorter than the other one. I'm going to take another break here to catch my breath. Alright, I'm back. Get the third sacrifice, which is one of the 3 remaining left on the first page. The situation has changed. Rika's father suddenly changed his mind about having her help out with the research. When Rika came down to high fever the other day, her mother wasn't happy about her daughter helping in the first place. Finally blew up. I was hoping the father would convince her somehow, but now he seems to be on her side. Rika's father didn't get emotional like her mother, but he demanded that we make our research plans for Rika clear, and we finish our research within 3 months at most, which is completely unrealistic. Researchers can't have the deadlines. That's out of the question. We cultivate results by grinding down our knowledge, skills, and time. To take time away from us is like taking away what's vital to life, to live. Whatever. How could he say such a thing? Curses, curses, curses. Because the parents are only saying that because they don't know anything about scientific research. However, as they are the parents of the Queen Carrier, we completely lost about what to do. Tests and experiments on the Queen Carrier are an essential part of the research on Higurashi syndrome. Her existence is the focal point of our work. To lose her would be like losing your sense of direction out in open water. Rika is providing her cooperation with our research, but the withdrawal her guardians consider would be a setback. The situation is extremely dire. Rika's parents are only interested in finding a cure, but to me the cure is only a small part of the solving the mystery. I can't let her go, and our difference is causing this predicament. And that's not only them, the same is happening between Ari and me. He thinks it's inevitable that we need to stop the research if Rika's parents refuse to consent. That's understandable. From the beginning, Ari never had the determination to solve the mysteries of Higurashi syndrome. He won't back down from the research assertively, but he will passively by agreeing with Rika's parents. Is it the attitude of a researcher who's going to try and reveal mysteries? He's the type of man who would step on my grandfather's research with his dirty feet. He is nothing but a coward who's in this half-heartedly. He started to feel guilty over his past the moment he saw blood. He is unqualified to even be involved in researching Higurashi syndrome. He is simply an outsider who joined in because of the clan's demands. If I were a man, he wouldn't be in here in the first place. While it's true he produced wonderful results with his development of a cure, he seems to think it's alright to close up shop with that. He is planning to waste everything by being satisfied with just a tiny result. That man doesn't have any right to discard my grandfather's research. I can feel my guts boiling. No. Ari isn't the main person at fault. The one to blame here is the woman, Rika's mother. If she wasn't so selfish, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe it's partly my fault. I maintained trusted relationships and obligations all this time, but somehow Rika's mother and I didn't get along. So I didn't try to socialize with her. I thought it was fine because I got along with Rika and her father. But now the mother has influenced the father and changed his decision. What negligence, or negligence, whatever everyone pronounces it, what a reversal, what a blunder. Ari is saying what we should talk to the office of Tokyo about to do next, but I know the Tokyo office finds out about this, orders to shut down the research. I've just worked so hard to even get things started. If they hear anything negative, they'll put a stop to it. I've come too far to complete my grandfather's research. I can't let it be stopped. I still have a little time to think about this. I need to calm down and analyze this carefully. I've always come up with a great plan when I drink my favorite tea and bite my nails like this. I looked up at the ceiling and closed my eyes as tenderly as possible. There are times I couldn't find a solution, but someone else came up with a simple one. I've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at me. I even endured the hell of the orphanage, so I'll never let that woman get in the way. Settle your thoughts down. Think about this clearly. Be calm, Mio Takano. Someone else may come up with a better idea. Oops. But who? It's not me. It can't be Ari. Of course, nobody from the village will do. Do I talk to someone in Tokyo? No, I can't. I don't want to owe anyone a favor. Even Koizumi Sensei will be disgusted if he finds out I can't solve such a simple matter by myself. I know. There's someone I could talk to nearby. They're supposed to be some of my subordinates after all, so it's worth a try. I'll call the leader of the Mountain Dogs, Okanogi. The Mountain Dogs are my subordinates, but they're part of the self-defense force. I'm just a researcher, so we never really had a chance to interact. He did what he was supposed to do, and I did what I was supposed to do, so I never even thought of discussing anything with him. But the Mountain Dogs are there to protect and support our research. Why didn't I think of talking to him before? What a difficult situation. He used to speak standard Japanese, but now he has the Hinamizawa accent. I guess fitting into the region is the first thing they need to do. We may need to lose the queen carrier, and not only that, but her mother might end up exposing our secrets. Can you do something about it? I asked Okanogi rather directly. I'm not really expecting an answer, but... Understood. The mountain dogs will take care of it. Just give us a little time and we'll do a clean job. Take care of it. We'll make sure the police won't get involved, and we need a little time to prep, but we won't make it difficult. I'm startled. Rika's mother is my enemy, but I was thinking about how I could convince her. But the leader of the mountain dogs, the counterintelligence unit, whose duty is to protect the secret research, came up with a much simpler plan. Do you mean the killer? To preserve the secret, also to do whatever is necessary. Of course, we won't do anything until we get an order. Right, this is a very simple problem to him. Rika's mother has started to interfere with our research. Not only that, there's a chance she might talk to people about the Institute, so they will eliminate her. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Can you do a good job of it? That's why we're here. This will be our biggest job since the kidnapping of the minister's grandson. I remember now, the mountain dogs are the ones who kidnapped the grandson of the minister of construction, used that to blackmail him. It's been a few years, I completely forgot about that. They did such a marvelous job then. That's right. I have the mountain dogs on my side. Can you get on with it right away? We could easily kill her even tonight, but that'd create too much of a fuse. Well, make it look like she disappears, so give us a little time to make some arrangements. Just like a cat's eyes under a bright light. I can feel something up in the back of my eyes open up. Up until now, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how to make her my ally, or at least make her surrender or pacify her. Yet one order to this man, and then problems easily solved. I feel like a bird's taking his first flight. Now how easily I can get rid of that annoying mother. All I have to do is give an order. I felt grateful to Koizumi me since they've given me such a terrific subordinates. What a wonderful power he has given me. I was taught that all the people are equal, but if I have the power to control people's lives, then that means I'm more important than they are. What a feeling it is to be above others. So did you want Rika Freddy's mother to disappear? And, well, wait a minute. Does that mean only Rika Freddy's mother? I could feel chills all over my body. If possible, maybe I should have her father disappear too. Rika is willing to help, so she has no other relatives in the Friday family. If both parents die, she has to depend on someone. The Irie Institute can support her. We can give her status, money, and protection. We can give her everything. By doing so, maybe it's possible to make her one of us rather than just having her as a helper. All my worries are melting away. Everything I was just concerned about seems like a joke now. I have such a powerful subordinate all this time, yet I never realized. All my tension is being released, and I'm starting to feel relaxed. I can feel myself regaining my cool head. I'm going to get rid of Rika's parents, that is. The Queen Courier is my guinea pig, a guinea pig that doesn't need parents. That's right, it's almost time for the Watanagashi Festival. If they die on that day, people will call it the curse of Oyoshiro-sama. The murder case from 2 years ago and the accident from last year are two separate incidents, yet they happened on the day of Watanagashi. They're called the curse of being called the curse of Oyoshiro-sama. Then, if her parents' deaths occur on this year's Watanagashi, it'll be the Oyoshiro-sama's curse 3 years in a row. The miracle of Oyoshiro-sama, and also the curse. I'm going to create them. This is a chance for me to ascend to godhood and toy with human fate. The incidents that occurred 2 years ago 2 years in a row are said to be a curse, but not everyone believes that. However, if it happens 3 years in a row, then everyone has to believe, because I'll be a true curse that's created by me. I'll become Oyoshiro-sama. My desire for revenge because God is coming together. Making her merely disappear. It's that fun, is it? When I started to laugh, Okanogi grinned to show his interest. We're going to create the curse of Oyoshiro-sama. I can't just let her die. She'll be deeming away, and I'm going to enjoy dissecting her alive. Of course, I won't just have fun. This will be extremely useful for our research. After all, she's the previous Queen Carrier. Damn. Okay. Well, that'll be another quick few-minute break here, and then we'll start the next fragment. Okay, that was a nice few-minute break. Let's go ahead and go with this one right here, because this... Yeah, okay. Got 2 left on that page. Got 2 left on this page. There's so much getting there. We still got a lot more fragments to do, though. Deep down, I was prepared for something to happen tonight once again. The first year, the workers were stirred into a frenzy, killing and dismembering the old man. And the second year, the Hojo couple were killed through a fake accident. Since the damn protest, only people who have been hated by the villagers died on the day of Watanagashi. Sad people in that village were calling the incidents the curse of Oyoshiro-sama. Now that the damn protests are over, there's no meaning in the village's enemies being killed on the night of the festival. I thought, if that was true, then there were still some enemies left over. I thought that perhaps this year, perhaps we would game night of the festival 3 years in a row. God, that's a hurt reading. Okay, my hunch was right. At first, however, it looked so natural that I didn't think anything of it. The festival was nearing its end, and the village officials were gathered under the main tent. They opened their beers and enjoyed the leftover corn and braised cow trout from the refreshment stands. I was in the main tent too, being entertained by the villagers. So I was actually there at the scene of the 30 years incident when it happened. Yeah, I didn't notice anything at the beginning. Hey, Friday said, "What's the matter? Are you feeling sick?" Most of the older folks in the village were heavy drinkers, but a few others were lightweights too. The priest was one of the latter. The priest was a representative as well as a host during the Higurashi festival, so every time visitors and guests arrived, he greeted them and each time was offered a drink. So by the time the night's end was pretty worn out, that's why I didn't think anything of it. See, the priest just sitting himself in a folding chair. The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was the one to tap his shoulder and ask him if I was alright. "Are you okay?" "You drank too much, didn't you? Does your chest hurt?" Sorry, I think I'm a little tired." Didn't you have heart trouble before? Getting sudden pains is a good sign." Dr. Ari. What's wrong? Is your chest? That's not good." When I saw what was going on, I noticed he was covered in terrible sweat and definitely not relaxing in his chair and enjoying the cool evening breeze. His face had a sickly pallor, and I thought he should lie down immediately. "I should probably take you to the clinic." "Are you okay? Can you hold onto my shoulder? Hey, somebody help. The priest doesn't feel well." "What's wrong with my husband?" "Dear, are you alright?" "The Kano-san." Perfect timing. "The priest doesn't feel well, so I'm going to take him to the clinic. Could you please have the car come around?" "Sure, no problem." So the priest and his wife headed to the clinic with Dr. Ari. I don't know about young people, but the elderly know their own bodies well. They were pushed themselves to the point where they start feeling ill, especially as someone like the priest. It was hard to imagine him drinking himself sick. The cumulative experience of my years was telling me something. I headed to the Ari clinic just in case. I tried to follow their car, but the festival was almost over and all the stands were closing up. There was a lot of traffic going in and out, making it almost impossible for me to leave the temporary parking lot. There's more than 20 minutes that passed since the priest was carried by the time I had arrived to the clinic. 20 minutes. If I hadn't taken me 20 minutes, my involvement in this year's incident would have been quite different. I regretted not leaving on foot the moment I realized how hard it was to get my car out. All I had to do now was drift on the facts, because between this time the priest left the festival and the time I arrived at the clinic, during those 20 minutes the year's course had taken place. The priest's condition changed for the worse right after he arrived at the clinic. He died. The autopsy results said it was heart failure, but how can I accept that? I don't think the priest was having health problems, and everyone was taken by surprise by the sudden event. Moreover, the wife of the priest disappeared too. According to the clinic staff, she was with him right after he died, but she's nowhere to be seen now. Of course, she's not at home either. Maybe someone's poisoned the priest. During the dam conflict, the priest was frowned upon for his remarks, and he said there's no need to make a big fuss because the dam project will be cancelled anyway. The older villagers like to hold grudges and hadn't forgotten, so that I had heard word of them talking about the priest was a fit for the shrine to Oyushio-sama. I called for backup and had them go search for the missing wife. With last year's falling a couple accidents precedent, it was easy to believe both the wife and husband could become victims. The villagers' youth group got organized to search from their village to the mountains, and as a result, we found a set of sandals and a well by the edge of the Onogufuchi swamp. The well said something about how her husband's death was the curse of Oyushio-sama, and she was throwing herself in the swamp to calm the god's anger. In other words, she committed suicide by jumping into the swamp. Legend says that the swamp is bottomless and connected directly to hell. Once you sink, you'll never come back. Divers from the police department searched the swamp, and her body was nowhere to be found. The past two mysterious incidents were solved individually, but as higher-ups say, something that's odd about this year's mysterious death. The ill priest was carried to the clinic. His wife accompanied him. Within 20 minutes, the priest died of a heart failure. The wife either committed suicide or disappeared. The death of the priest may really have been a fatal heart attack, but for his wife to assume that it was a curse and to commit suicide by jumping into the swamp for all that to happen in 20 minutes, it just doesn't seem natural. The Furude family has no relatives. Even if she was just a true believer in Oyushio-sama, how could she commit suicide while leaving behind her one and only daughter? Ari is hiding something too, but he's just a village doctor, which means he's nothing more than their pawn. If this is all a conspiracy to assassinate the priest, and there is someone who's pulling the strings, I have been starting to think that trying to tie this past two incidents to the village so forcefully was a bit overbearing of me, but this incident was enough to convince me that this series of cases involving mysterious deaths and nameless someone were all grounded in one attention. This incident has countless numbers of discrepancies, but someone from the village seems to be putting pressure on high command, and just like the past incidents, the Swan will be treated as an individual case and end up being forgotten, since it was how it happened 3 years in a row. Everyone in the village will see is cursed with Ushio-sama. I think that's the culprit's goal. After the war, belief in Ushio-sama became antiquated. Is someone committing these murders as a ritual to restore the god's dignity? The one pulling the strings must be the Sonozaki family. A few months passed. Oryu Sonozaki said something like it was natural for that priest to be cursed by Ushio-sama, so the priest's case was lumped together with the mysterious Minazawa death, otherwise known as Ushio-sama's curse. Whew. At first I simply wanted to avenge the old man, but now that case had grown into an abnormal one, centered on the village's fate. Damn it, the old man's killer is human. I won't let it be pushed off on some nonsense curse. Okay, that was the end of that fragment, finally. That was kind of a boring fragment. I don't know why, but I just thought that one was kind of boring. So yeah, let's, I'm gonna take me a few minute break to catch my stupid breath again, and then I'll be looking for whatever the next fragment is. Sure ain't on this page. Alright, here we go. We got back on page 1 right now. One or two left on that page. The strange medicine I can hardly remember was a capsule, or maybe it was an oval tablet, or it was so red it must have been a capsule. I can't imagine a tablet in that color. It must have been a capsule. I think it was a little bit bigger than a normal one. I can't remember, although I can hardly remember. If I see that medicine again, I'll refresh my memory. The medicine strips away humanity. It takes away human soul, memory, emotion, and numbs the human body. There are no thoughts, no interest, no will to stay awake or sleep. There's no sense of time. Sometimes a second can feel like an eternity, and other times I can almost see an hour hand move. Either way, there's no emotion involved. I can't feel any emotion. The medicine only lets me stay in bed and look up at the ceiling. Only the people who have taken it can understand the misery. What's more scary is that while I'm on the medication, I don't realize how scary it is. Oops. I'm given the medicine daily. I keep losing all senses. So when I realized the medicine wore off by accident, I realized I should have never taken it again. That's right, this is a medicine that will heal me. It's just going to kill me slowly. If I continue to take this medicine, I probably wouldn't be able to tell if I was dead or alive, and I would end up losing myself forever. I'll keep looking up at the ceiling without any emotions and keep watching the clock tick forever. If I take the medicine again, I'll lose all senses I finally regain. I'm unable to be able to bring myself back again. Since the day I realized that, I've been pretending to take medicine but throwing it away instead. If your doctor prescribes medications, you get to finish taking it even if your symptoms are gone. I can hear my mother's voice. Anytime I went to the doctor's office when I was a child, my mother said that to me. I usually got well before I finished all the medicine. I usually got well, okay? So I didn't finish taking the rest. That's why my mother said that. But this is a different type of medicine. I don't even remember how old I was when my mother said that. But this strange capsule in front of me, I have to try and get rid of my mother's voice from inside of my head. I pressed it on my head with my elbows until it hurt, trying to get rid of whatever my mother kept telling me. Right, as my head clears, I start to remember the youngest son of my mother. My mother betrayed her family. She betrayed me and my father, who waited for her at home with dinner on the table. She told us she was busy with work, but she was having an affair. That was bad enough, but she asked my father for a divorce after she took such good care of her for so many years. But there's something I also can't forgive her for. She invited me only to meet with her new family, not my father, just me. My father and I are family. Family means being together, yet my mother tried to destroy the bond between my father and me. Not only has she destroyed her bond with him, she tried to destroy my bond with him too. When I remember it makes me feel angry and hateful. I can't forgive her. The back of my eyes started to hurt, and I could feel the hatred on my face. That overflowing animosity is aimed not only with my mother, but also the man she had an affair with. The man she had an affair with, Uncle Akihito. I didn't like him teasing me, but he gave me an allowance to try to have fun with me. I liked him very much, but his niceness was all calculated. He wanted me to destroy the failing bonds between my father and me. That's why I shouldn't have said I liked it very much. That's right, I'm starting to remember and understand. I now know my true enemy. It was his fault that my mother started to have an affair, because my mother was a very good mother. He was the one who made her a bad one, so he's the one who deserves the blame. When I was the first time I met him, I think it was the time when my mother and I went out and had a lunch at a restaurant. She introduced him as one of her colleagues from work. At that time, I think about my first meeting, and I think I felt something that wasn't right with the way my mother acted around him. That's right, I did something I did think something was wrong. I didn't feel right. I wish I had twisted my instincts then. I was a fool to think he was a nice person just because he gave me a strawberry from a piece of his cake. It's not my father's fault, because I bet he never met Uncle Akihito, but I have. I met him many times, and there was a lot of chances to realize he was my enemy. If I had a strong enough will to protect my happiness, I could have noticed that. I can't forget how my father looked on that day, and my father was so nice and gentle, grabbed his knee so tightly and cried so hard. He asked me if I knew Uncle Akihito. I answered yes, and he slapped me in the face. When he slapped me, I finally realized how stupid I was for being taken in by him. That's right, it was my fault. I destroyed the happiness I had hoped to last forever with my own hands. If I hadn't been that stupid, my father wouldn't have had to cry like that, and my mother would have stayed good. If I wasn't that stupid, it was my fault. I can't forget my father and Uncle Akihito. My mother, not father. Even when I hate him so much, I still call him Uncle, and I can't forgive myself for that. It was my fault. Everything was my fault. It was too stupid. I was too stupid and foolish, and that's why this happened. I hate her, and I'm sad, I'm frustrated. I can't stop being angry. If my mother ever came back to this house, I would rip her apart with my hands. But she never came back, and my anger turned towards everything that my mother left in the house. I destroyed every relic my mother left behind, one after another. I threw and smashed everything, but that still didn't calm me down. Even after I turned the whole house upside down, I still couldn't calm my anger. When does my anger gather? It starts from the inside of me, goes through my arms, my fingertips, and sprouts from my nails. Where else can it go? Some of my nails aim at my own body. My body is the filthiest and most disgusting thing of all. I am the one to be blamed. No, I'm not the one to blame. My mother's the most at fault. My mother's the most corrupt. My body and soul feel filthy. I wanted to stain myself black and slice the remaining flesh into pieces. And one day I finally realized there are tons of maggots in my blood. I am rotten. I am rotten from the inside. Come on, rot more, but it is indescribably itchy. It's itchy, 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 itchy. I stabbed my thighs with a razor blade in the bathroom. Ew. The blood flowed out. Reddish black maggots spilled out. I forced myself to open up my blood vessels with my thumbs. The maggots spilled out. Squirms. Ew. Squirm. So many maggots spilled out from my left thigh. My left thigh must have been the same amount of maggots in his blood vessels. My calves too. My arms. My abdomen. My chest. No. How many maggots are there in my blood vessels on my neck? Strangely, although I've become rather insane, there's still part of me that is calm. If I keep ripping myself apart like this, I'll end up dead. But everything is my fault, and I'm not the one to be blamed. Even if I blame my mother, the only way I can disgrace her is with my own body. Well, I get it now. This is the best means for quelling my anger. I feel like I'm thinking incredibly rationally now. In order to save myself, I need someone else to feel and someone else to blame. It has to be someone else's fault. But no such person exists. No matter how much I think about it or how I twist the logic of my own body, it's my only outlet to vent this anger. So as long as there's no one else to blame, I'll be forced to rip open every blood vessel in my body. Just like no matter how much I just scratch, it still itches. No matter how much I rip apart my own body, it's not enough. The blood is all over the bathroom. I'm not sure it makes for quite the gruesome scene. Although I'm trying to stay calm, I can't ignore the sharp pain that runs through my body. Maybe because I lost so much blood, or maybe I'm naked in the bathroom. I feel freezing cold. My whole body is throbbing. My heart is beating so fast. I'm cold and hot at the same time, and I'm also sad and angry and in pain. I want to find something that lets me forgive myself. Then it came. It came in heavenly light. It was a mysterious and unreal, like something out of this world. It apologized. It kept apologizing. Why is it apologizing? You apologize when you're at fault. So this thing I met for the first time was it mean the wronging me. I'm not at fault. It's not fault. Not me. I dropped a razor blade. I fell into the puddle of blood. The pain is taking over my body. The pain of ripping apart my own body is taking over me. I've been telling myself that this pain is a punishment for what I've done, but I'm not at fault. It is, so I don't need to accept this pain as punishment, so I don't need to defile my own body anymore. She continued to apologize and to me over as I stood there covered in fresh blood. She apologized every time I went to blame myself, constantly whispering that it wasn't my fault. Oyashio-sama exists. She's always following me. Slap. And every time I can't endure the guilt, she apologizes and tells me I'm not at fault. Everything is caused by the curse of Oyashio-sama. Things started to go wrong when I broke the rule that I wasn't supposed to leave Hinamizawa. I finally remember when I moved from Hinamizawa, one of my neighbors gave me a charm. She said that if I left Hinamizawa, I'd be cursed, so I had to take that charm. That's right, she gave me a charm. It had some complicated writing on it, but I haven't seen it since I moved here. I may have lost it. There's nothing I can do about that. If Hinamizawa residents leave Hinamizawa, they'll be cursed. My mother and I, even Uncle Akihito, may have gone insane because of the curse of Oyashio-sama. Nobody was at fault from the beginning, because everything is caused by the curse of Oyashio-sama. Nobody's at fault. Nobody. I'm finally able to forgive everything. The anger that I couldn't get rid of, even after I destroyed everything, including my body and soul, is finally gone. Father, now I know. The curse of Oyashio-sama is what caused my mother to leave, and for you to be so sad. Remember Oyashio-sama, don't you? The guardian deity of Hinamizawa? That's right, people of Hinamizawa aren't supposed to go outside of their world. That's why our mother went insane. It's all because of the curse of Ueshiro-sama. If we stayed happy in Hinamizawa, we would have been happy. Ueshiro-sama came to me and told me that. Come to think of it, Ueshiro-sama has been trying to tell me that for a long time. After mother left, I didn't know why she left or how to express my anger. Ueshiro-sama has kept me following me ever since then and let me know that. She followed me everywhere, the sound of her footsteps echoing behind me, but I pretended I didn't notice her. I was so stupid. Didn't hear their voice until I slashed my body all over. If only I had listened to Ueshiro-sama's voice. I bet she started warning me once Uncle Hikuhito came into my life. If the whole family had gone back to the Hinamizawa, my mother wouldn't have had an affair. We wouldn't have been happy there. I bet Ueshiro-sama has been trying to tell me that. That's right, she must have been trying to warn me ever since we left Hinamizawa. She's always with me. She followed me everywhere. I was stupid trying to pretend I didn't notice. Everything was because of that stupidity. If I had noticed Ueshiro-sama's voice, my family wouldn't have suffered from the curse. It's all my fault. Oh, Ueshiro-sama's apologizing. She keeps apologizing, which means it's all her fault. So that means it's not my fault then, is it? Because it's the curse of Ueshiro-sama, right? She's apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Ueshiro-sama is apologizing repeatedly, so I'm sorry too. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry that I didn't hear your voice. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We are from Hinamizawa, so we have to keep hearing your voice. Ueshiro-sama definitely exists. Can't you hear my father? Don't you see? Ueshiro-sama's right here apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. Come on, father, let's apologize too. Mother, you don't have to apologize. You shouldn't die because of the curse. I hate you, mother. I hate you. I hate you. I hate myself for being your daughter. These maggots are your fault. They make me itch everywhere. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I don't want that medicine. My mother got to kill me, so I don't want that. I don't want to take it. I told you I won't take it. Stop. There's a curse, so you can't fix it with medicine. And it won't get rid of the maggots because this is a curse. No, I don't want a shot either. Stop. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Damn. Everything is falling into a gray world. The voices of my father and doctor sound so far away. Even when it would just happen, it doesn't seem like it happened a long time ago. Again, I'm given the capsule. Even my memory for my mango is gone. Okay. I'm back in my bed staring at the ceiling, and what I can see, the only thing that interests me is the hand of the clock. Tick-tock. I follow the minute hand as it goes around quickly, and the hand goes around slowly. I see other things too, but they keep going through the same motions just like the hands on the clock. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I always sure someone keeps apologizing. Tick-tock. I'm sorry. Tick-tock. I'm sorry. Repeating over and over constantly, nothing else. The chorus of the Higurashi coming in through the window during the night seems louder than usual. Whew, that was quite a bit of a longer fragment. I'm going to take another few minute break here and then do the next one. Alright, we are back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and do this one. Dakota-san always comes along with me whenever I go to take pictures on a stroll. She might have discovered the joy of cameras, and I'm happy to gain a friend who shares the same hobby. However, there's actually something else she's much more interested in, and that would be the history of Hinamizawa. She frequently visits the libraries and local archives to read through various documents and books. When it comes to Hinamizawa, she's getting quite extensive knowledge of local history. When she's in a good mood, she tells me about things like how Hinamizawa used to be called Onikufuji Village, and how the villagers there used to perform various cruel ceremonies based around the worship of Ueshiro-sama. It seems she loved tales of violence, and that she actually gave her a mysterious charm. On the other hand, I don't do well with ghost-tech things, so I can hardly say anything in response. The stories of cruel ceremonies that she gets excited about, I don't really get them all that well. However, with her, the way her eyes light up when she talks, I don't mind spending time with her, even if I hear cruel things. You sure like look into that stuff, don't you? Sure, it's fun. It's thrilling to unravel dark past that's been sealed away, don't you think? Takano-san smiled in a way that almost made it sound like a dark past is something fun, but of course it isn't. The dark history of Hinamizawa that she loves is something cruel and atrocious, like the witches hunt in the Middle Ages. Besides, it helped me in researching Hinamizawa syndrome. You don't have to always look through microscopes to research things. Sometimes the traditions of this village has been spent so long with this parasite could teach us things that are far more valuable. It's true, boy, you sure are passionate about this. That's because research gives me life's meaning, to step in the unknown and uncover a secret that nobody else knows. Don't you think that's wonderful? It tickles my intellectual curiosity. That would probably be the greatest entertainment available to humans who could feel joy just from thinking. The first person to work on this, Dr. Takano, must have discovered something fascinating enough to make him devote his entire life to the researching of the syndrome too. I think I'm probably the only one who could understand his feelings. Suppose it would be too difficult for you, Jiro-san, since you're not a researcher. She always seemed so enthusiastic every time we talked about the late Dr. Takano, an independent researcher who was the first person to discover the existence of the syndrome. There has to be something more than just her admiration as a researcher. Come to think of it, Dr. Takano's full name was Hifumi Takano. Takano-san's full name is Mio Takano. Not only are their last names pronounced the same, but their first names follow a similar pattern. They must be connected somehow. I don't know anything about Takano-san's personal history, but there's a good chance that her name is an alias. It's very possible she chose a name to reflect the researcher she admires. I see, so is that the way you chose that name? What? Well, the name of the researcher you look up to is Hifumi Takano, right? And your name is Mio. In Japanese, it's like you're counting upwards. You're continuing the research you wasn't able to complete, so I thought maybe that's why you have that name. Who told you that? No, I just thought of that now. I didn't hear from anybody. You're correct. I'm surprised you figured it out since you're so dense. I know you admire Dr. Takano and said that you've spoken as if you were his daughter or granddaughter who inherited his research legitimately. That's why I said that. Even authors like Rampo Edagawa use their pen names as homages towards authors they admired as well. So that may be the name you use, like your pen name, you know? No, that's not so. Mio Takano is my real name. You write my family name differently, though. And then it really is the exact same family name as Dr. Takano. That's even more surprise. And Mio's your real name too. Mio Takano continuing Hifumi Takano's life's work. What a fateful coincidence. You're outlasting it. You're overstating it, Jiro-san. This is a fate of any kind. He's my grandfather. What? This is news to me. I heard Takano-san discovered the documents about the Himazawa syndrome left by Dr. Takano after his death and decided to continue his research. I've never heard of them being related before. Someone told me that I leave a bad impression if I ask for money to continue my grandfather's research, that people may think I'm trying to pull funds for a family matter. That's why I changed one of the characters in my last name. So other than Uncle Koizumi, you're the first person I told this to. I see, I didn't know that, so that's why you're so passionate about all this. I understand very clearly now. So she really didn't inherit the work her grandfather was unable to complete. My grandfather researched Himazawa syndrome not only from a medical point of view, but through old documents and literature as well. Looking through old stories of the village that has been living in this with the blah 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 blah. Looking through the old stories of a village that has been living with the syndrome for hundreds of years can be far more valuable than looking through microscopes that magnify things hundreds of times. My grandfather taught me that. I see. I'm sure your grandfather is happy that you're finishing the work he couldn't. I bet he's really proud of you. I hope so. I Sister Takano normally teased me about, but she didn't. She nodded and smiled. There's no mistake. She's indeed the granddaughter of Dr. Takano. My grandfather is Hifumi, which means 1, 2, 3, and my Mio, which means 34. Following after my grandfather, we've only counted the 3 together, and counted the 4 after my grandfather. We must reach the 5 that neither me nor the grandfather has seen yet. This is my duty and the reason I was born, so that's why your name is Mio, huh? I think it's a beautiful name. Thank you, but please keep the granddaughter issue to yourself. My clients don't even know, and I don't want any unnecessary problems from them finding out about it. Sure, okay. It's a secret between me and you, huh? Although it's only a small secret, it feels good to think that I'm the only one who knows about it. I've only counted to 3. I haven't even reached 4 yet. The path before me is long and rough, but I will do it. I will expose the secrets of Himazawa syndrome. I'll support you. That's my job in the first place, isn't it? Geez, you sound pretty cool if you didn't tack on things like that. You only needed to say that you'll support me, you know? Okay, I'll support you. It's too late. You're not cool if you can't get it right the first time. We laughed cheerfully together, and after we finished laughing, she became serious again and spoke as if to drive the point home. So remember, Jiro-san, don't tell anybody that I'm his granddaughter, okay? Okay, I promise. It's not a bad thing, but I don't want the clients to cut our funding because of that. I don't think they will, besides I won't tell us so. Are you sure? Are you really, really sure this research is the entire purpose of my life? My mission is to complete my grandfather's work, to prove that his trampled research is actually something amazing that will shock the world and to make everyone praise my grandfather who is perishing away under this earth, eventually having him ascend as a god. That's the meaning and purpose of my life. Jiro-san, if you say something that creates problems for my research, don't worry, I'll forget everything you told me here. Really, I mean, I won't say anything. I promise, I won't say anything. Are you sure, Jiro-san? I said something threatening within her for a moment, afraid that she would end up possessed by it. I swore to keep a promise. Her intellectual curiosity as a researcher and her conviction to complete her grandfather's work are what stirs her passion for researching Himazawa syndrome. I think it's more and more basic, but it's too far deep and within a wound in her heart that someone like me should never touch. But earlier she said, if you create problems for my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. Okay, I don't think she wanted to say something terrifying, merciless. I kept my promise with her, and we never talked about the issue again after that. Thank God. Okay, that was kind of a short one. Alright, I'm gonna take another few minute break to catch my breath. Okay, let's see. So for never Big Brother, or let's go ahead and well, that last one was pretty short. Let's do this one too. This might be the last fragment I do of this video. Either this or one more. It just depends on how long this one is. It happened so suddenly. Uncle Koizumi passed away. I never heard he was ill or wasn't feeling well. His chest started to hurt suddenly and he couldn't sleep. He called an ambulance for the first time in his life because he didn't think he could endure the pain. He was taken to the emergency care, but he didn't live to see morning. It was an acute myocardial infarction, but it was the best possible way to go. Instead of being in bed for many years, slowly diabedating and withering away, he was healthy until his death, so I think he must have lived a wonderful life, but still it was too sudden. I wish I called him Uncle more. It's too late, though. Uncle Koizumi would never smile at me again with his wrinkly old face, no matter how many times I called for him. He was my guardian until now. He was always looking after me, making sure my efforts received proper recognition. Maybe he only did that because he couldn't help my grandfather when he was alive, but he was still an important person to me. He just wasn't my political backing, but I didn't realize that when he was alive. I only thought of using his power for my own agenda, but after he died, I realized Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa, too. He provided the warmth and protection I longed for my own grandfather. At his funeral, I shed tears that I thought I'd forgotten how to. Uncle, thank you for everything. I should have called you Uncle more, huh? Oh, no matter how many times I called him until he would never reply. What I can do for him at this point is to complete my research. I must accomplish for the goal for his sake. But when my grandfather's research is finally acknowledged, Uncle Koizumi's name will be known once again for being the sole supporter of his endeavor. I believe that's the best way to repay him for everything he's done. I vowed to devote myself to work even more from this day on, but unfortunately, hardships and sadness didn't come together. It was like a tailwind that blew steadily until today suddenly became a headwind. The wind shafted far too suddenly, so strong, so cold, so sad. What do you talk about, Jiro-san? Well, you know that Koizumi Sensei was the main political sponsor for the Art Institute, right? He had trouble getting approval from the related agencies, but Koizumi Sensei used his political weight to force it through. After all, he was one of the key figures in the post-war restoration, accomplishing tremendous deeds in the medical industry. He held a huge influence in politics and industry. So now that Koizumi Sensei is gone, the way he did things won't work any longer. So far, it's only rumors, so I don't know for sure, but I heard they're going to reconsider the budget allocated for the project. Are you saying the Institute will be closed down? No, I haven't heard anything about them reconsidering the Institute. But since Koizumi Sensei's death, the rumors say that there's a great deal of confusion among the old guard and their factions, as well as a civil strife within the party around finding his successor. It seems that opposing factions are getting influence in the human resources of our clients, so they may begin to dig deep into the holy treasure chest that the Koizumi faction held to fund their project. Of course, this is all too complicated for me to explain that well, and besides, these things might just be rumors. Jiro-san kept saying they were rumors, but that told me the wind's direction has changed. Or maybe Jiro-san already knows about everything and is simply trying to warn me about it. And then at our next routine audit, Jiro-san made it clear with his own mouth. High-ranking government officials who never came here before attended the routine audit along with Jiro-san. Just by seeing those faces, I could tell the turning point is approaching. As you know, the Alphabet Project was created to strengthen the post-war Japan's presence in the world with the view of developing deterrent weaponry. However, the 21st century is now just around the corner. In this day and age, we must put the past behind us and start looking forward to a new world. He meant exactly what he said. Japan has already put the past behind and is cutting off its ties to the ghosts of which to resurrect militaristic amount of the pre-war era. It's been 40 years since the end of the war and contributed to the world in various peaceful ways. We have a strong alliance with the United States, and our nation has established its position in world affairs well enough. We have kept our promises to forever renounce war and nuclear weapons. We are known as a nation of peace in this coming century, and our presence and influence will grow even larger. The Alphabet Project, the main sponsor of the IRI Institute, are a group of people who want to develop a weapon that would act as a deterrent to the nuclear weapon which Japan is forbidden to own. So they come to the IRI Institute, one of its branch organizations, and tell us Japan has now renounced their nuclear arms. So the IRI Institute will be facing a strong, cold headwind from now on. The roll of the die that came up with the one on the stormy day has reappeared. I won't let the result of the die affect me. The roll of my will won't be beaten by the sun god's roll of the dice. Therefore, we're going to reconstruct the Alphabet Project to one that's more suitable for the day and age, and this new Alphabet Project will be tasked with figuring out the best way for this country to achieve a larger presence in the world affairs, not through militaristic means, but through peaceful measures like international trade and economic development. All of the people who hold tremendous influence in the politics and economy of Japan were born before the war, so naturally they want to regain the glory of pre-war Japan. The very idea that we can win next time if we research the new bomb that defeated us is itself as a specter of the war. Everyone already realized that. It was just no one could speak about this grandstanding elders that owe their gratitude towards. Soon the old will wither away and the new generation will take control. Uncle Koizumi was in a way the last remaining pillar of the old generation. His death is a chance for the new generation to step in. The things that they couldn't argue openly are now being discussed. He pointed out that from the beginning the Alphabet Project was created for the personal satisfaction of a small group of people and it sucked the money out of the treasury. And so the new generation of politicians have taken over from the old. Therefore, attaining the Alphabet Project with sponsor will have to be re-reviewed. Of course, the Area Institute is one of those subsidiaries. We hope that you'll understand and respond amicably. I understand. We can't do our research without our sponsors. After all, we'll give you our full cooperation. Ari responded appropriately. He's obviously bewildered. The best equipment and staff are being provided to the Area Institute. In other words, our research requires a huge amount of money. Those with no interest in Higurashi syndrome, they probably won't be able to understand why that much money is being put into research of disgusting parasites. If they're simply going to revise our budget, that would be fine. We were receiving more than enough anyway. That would naturally be adjusted. It hurts, but we can endure. That's what I thought. But if it was just enduring, it was enough. It wouldn't be a one on the die. So even in that sense, this is definitely a relevant die coming up as a one. Anyway, the new board of directors was inaugurated back in April, and they've outlined their new policies for all projects. For more details, please look into the papers I'll be handing out. His papers were then passed around. He started to go over the details, but I read through it quickly so I could learn about their stupid decisions first. The Art Institute has made a great headway in uncovering the mystery of the Higurashi syndrome as well as creating a cure for the disease. The board of directors is extremely pleased. We will recognize this as a due to the unceasing efforts of the director Ari and all the staff of the Art Institute. Thank you. Even while he received their congratulations, a tense atmosphere surrounded me and Ari. It's customary to start the conversation in the opposite way you're planning to take it before delving into your main point to convey. If the main issue is something good, then start something bad, or vice versa. The Art Institute had two main intentions. One was to study the disease and hopefully find a cure. The other was to research the possibility of utilizing the disease for military applications. The new board of directors had decided to put a stop to the latter immediately. In this day and age, researching biological weapons is an Achilles heel for Japan. The Art Institution must cease all related research and destroy any results. I understand. I will comply. Ari replied immediately with that. Ari was assertive about finding a cure, but never even remotely interested in researching the diseases used for military purposes. So I'm sure he has no qualms about considering with such demands, but I don't agree, because our research will be more limited if we're just trying to find a cure. To me, finding that cure is simply a byproduct of my larger goal of discovering everything about the syndrome. Also, regarding Area Institution, we have decided to have you wrap up your work within the next 3 years. Your budget will be decreased gradually as well. Oh wait, please, we've only recently figured out anything about the syndrome, and there's more we have to learn in order to create a better cure. We're making progress, but I can't guarantee we'll come up with a complete cure within 3 years. It's understanding that the board that the Area Institute has already completed enough research to develop a cure. The Area Institute has already completed the C117 vaccine and has a great deal of clinical data. No, it's not even close to being completed. It's still only a prototype, and we're far from being able to see a cure for all villagers. Debating the end of their research at this stage could be only described as absolutely positively reckless. I'm surprised that Ari objected. Thanks to him, I didn't have to say anything. But if Ari hadn't objected, I'm sure I would have shrieked in protest. In other words, our institute is not yet capable of curing all people who are infected or to fully eradicate the syndrome. Is that correct? Yes, of course, curing all the villagers and eradicating the syndrome will be impossible in the future. That's our ultimate goal, but I need more time and, of course, funding to do that. Our job is to investigate, find a practice that works, and establish it as a product. This is a job where you can follow a blueprint to create something with a certain set time frame. So we hope that you'll avoid following that misconception. I guess Ari speaks out when he needs to, and that's what he's saying is absolutely right. Researchers are guaranteed to produce results with money and time, but I disagree with some of the things he said. He's objecting about the time and money, but he's basically agreeing to limit our research only towards finding a cure for Higurashi syndrome. That won't do. We won't unravel any mysteries that way. At that rate, the discovery of Higurashi syndrome won't be recognized as my grandfather's great achievement. I see your point. Our main purpose here is to dispose of the fact that this is a research was conducted for military purposes. So we must forever hide the fact that the research was conducted on a strange disease called Higurashi syndrome, as well as hide its existence. If you can eradicate the disease without anyone ever learning about it, then we will give you the time and funding you require. But we'll discuss more about that later. Is that acceptable? Yes, I have no problem with that. Then please submit a plan and a budget proposal for eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. We'll do our best on our part to approve your proposal. Thank you. I'll work on it immediately. Please don't mention the Senate. This is our intention to halt the research immediately. We want to see the best possible outcome for your work. Please understand that. Yes, of course I understand. While I was listening to their conversation, I was just struck dumbfounded with something they said. Eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. In other words, it'd have to be as though Higurashi syndrome never existed, so my grandfather's name will never be revered by anyone. The sound of wrestling papers and hush proceedings filled the meeting room, but I only heard the ticking clock as I clutched my sweaty palms. Whew. God, that was... okay, yeah, that's the last one, guys. That took too long. I'm not going to do another one now. I didn't want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys made it this far, I don't know when the next upload will be, but, so I wanted to complete at least one of these 2 pages. There's only one more. No, but next time I guess I could do these 2. I'll at least complete 3 next video. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.